Hello guys and welcome to Dolly Shots. George Lucas once said that a special effect is a tool for storytelling. A special effect without a story is a pretty boring thing. In today's video, we are going to count down top 5 movies that use practical effects beautifully. CGIs are most popular nowadays, from big budget to indie flick. Sometimes practical effects gonna save the day. Today we are talking about the best use of practical effects in movies. Special effects are traditionally divided into two categories, which is mechanical effects and optical effects. In this movie though, the good old optical effects made this movie stand out. The Peter Jackson's epic trilogy won the best Oscars, and practical effects had a crucial role in it. For creating size difference between hobbits and other characters, Peter Jackson used forced perspective method to size down two average size persons, and it was mind-blowing. This was done by placing the cam in a special angle and motion control for maintaining optical illusion. This brilliant tech later inspired to make movies like Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind. Christopher Nolan is known for pulling off on-screen dangerous stunts like the rotating corridor scene and the market explosion in Inception, the flight scene in Dark Knight Rises, and the stunt scenes from Dark Knight and Batman Begins. The plane stunt in Dark Knight Rises were done by the actual stuntman in midair, where a second plane actually suspended by a plane on top, and it's dropped down around thousands of feet from the air, and the action sequence were shot in a rotating set just like in Inception's corridor scene. The chasing scene in Dark Knight was shot using miniature set in 1:3 scale. The studio was previously built miniature scale unit for Batman Begins for the rooftop action scene, which were also used in the scene too. They also used a 144-foot long miniature highway set, and a rail system were built for the camera to move parallel to the highway, where the scene was shot magnificently.
Very slightly underexposed in the film. I think they were able to get something that cuts in very, very well with the full-scale footage.
These movies were carved into our minds because practical effects used in each one of his movies. George Miller's epic masterpiece tells us the importance of practical effects in a movie. The film was shot in sequence. Over 80% of effects seen in the film are practical effects, including stunts, makeup, and sets. CGI was used sparingly, mainly to enhance the Namibian landscape, removing the stunt rigging, and for removing the left arm of Charlize Theron, which is a prosthetic limb. Editor Margaret Sixel had roughly 470 hours of footage to edit. Watching it took 3 months. The art direction would be as beautiful as possible, as Miller reasoned that people living in the post-apocalypse would try to find whatever scrap of beauty they could in their meager environment. Margaret Sixel, the editor, is George Miller's wife. When she asked why he thought she could take on this project, as she had never edited an action film before, Miller replied, "Because if a guy did it, it would look like every other action movie." Miller's choice paid off, and Sixel had received an Academy Award for Best Editing, Production Design, etc., including 6 Oscars to that year. The tanker roll stunt in Mad Max 2, 1981, at the end of the chase was deemed so dangerous that the stunt driver was not allowed to eat any food 12 hours before they shot. In the likely event of an accident that he could be rushed into surgery. The Mad Max franchise are best known for their use of practical effects. Star Wars paved a new path in world cinema, introducing story of space in a new style. When George Lucas set out to make his dream project, he found out that there was no companies for this type of graphics. So he built an entire set of props for the movie. This became industrial light and magic. It mostly uses stop-motion animation, blue screen, alien costumes, and makeups. The opening scene of the 2 spaceships fighting blew audience's mind at that time, which was done without the help of any computers. Star Wars is one of a kind movie in this list. George Méliès is known as the father of special effects. He was a magician, later in his life changed that career to movies. His movies are well known for its special effects, popularizing such techniques as substitution splices, multiple exposure, time-lapse photography, dissolves, and hand-painted color. He was also one of the first filmmakers to use storyboards. The movies like A Trip to the Moon from 1902, The Impossible Voyage from 1904, The Vanishing Lady from 1896, etc. are some of his works. One of the first color movies in world cinema was also done by George Méliès, which is done by coloring each and every frame of the film by himself. He built the first movie studio in Europe for production and special effects. Méliès worked with 2 engineers at his theater workshop to build a camera of his own. The first prototype weighed over 75 pounds. By the time he left film production, he had created over 500 films, and Méliès himself reportedly destroyed the original elements of most of his films. Charlie Chaplin said he was the alchemist of light. Martin Scorsese said that he invented everything. Basically, he invented it all. He later made a movie tributing him named HUGO in 2011. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. If you liked the video, press that like button and also press the subscribe button and the bell icon to never miss an update.